are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth. And who we are and all we do is a blessing to the world. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth. And who I am and all I do is a blessing to the world. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth. And who I am and all I do is a blessing to the world. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth. And who I am and all I do is a blessing to the world. I'm a blessing to the world. I'm a blessing to the world.
Say good morning to each other. Can I get the lights, please?
I did, but you were busy, honey. You were just a little busy. That's it.
Okay. Can we go forward? I guess we didn't really test the sound much. No, okay. That's still there. Thank you. All right. Say good morning. Good morning. Let's come together and celebrate being together. How about it? Thank you for being here. Welcome. I'm Reverend Penny Honey, for those of you who don't know, and if you don't know, you will know before the end of the day. So thanks for being here. I'm grateful. Grateful, grateful, grateful. Here at Unity of Flagstaff, as you know, we like to say all are welcome. And you know, the truth is, all are welcome is a statement that we hear. You see it a lot. In fact, when you go out to Google and you Google images, all are welcome, there's like 1 billion, right? There's 1 billion all are welcomes. So just do that for the fun of it, right? And what we mean that here at Unity of Flagstaff is that all are welcome. It's a principle. It's not just a slogan. So if there's an empty chair next to you, I want you to consider that empty chair for a second. Got it? Is there someone in your life that could benefit and be blessed to hear that they are welcome right here, fully, wholly, and exactly as they are? Does anybody like to hear that? So think about that. Open every Sunday, 10:30 a.m. Invite them in. So we're here to support you in affirmative prayer because Unity is founded on prayer. You can receive prayer support many different ways here at Unity of Flagstaff. One is I have prayer partners in the room. Who are those prayer partners? Thank you. Look at that. Willing to pray with you, celebrate with you, maybe even let you lament a little bit, and then move you to prayer because they see the greater good in it, right? And they will do that with love and in confidence. So thank you for that. We have a great prayer team. We want to welcome Steve Huffman as the latest new member. Round of applause, right? If you're interested in that, come see me. We meet once a week. We hold this community. We hold the universe. We hold the world. We just hold everything. And we hold it in light. And we see the good. And we will affirm it with you. So thank you for that. You can also call that famous 1-800-NOW-PRAY number. 24/7 they are there. Somebody will answer the call and they will say, "How may I pray with you?" Not how may I pray for you, with you. Because they know that the power is within. We affirm it with you. Okay? And of course, you can always contact me here at the center, and we have a prayer box over there, and it loves getting prayers. It tells me it's working commission, so keep that in mind. Let's start with an opening prayer. Take a deep breath. You want to hear something funny? I almost said, how about a round of applause? It almost came right out of my mouth. There we go. So, yay, God is what I say. Round of applause in prayer. Spirit, we say thank you. Greatest prayer ever is that. As we acknowledge, as we step into, as we claim and know the divine nature that we are, the divine expression that each and every one brings, whether here, watching on YouTube, out in the world hiking, wherever they may be. We see them safe and loved and at peace in expressing their divine nature. And we own that for ourselves. Thank you, Spirit. We soften our hearts and we open our minds. And we say thank you. And so it is, and so we let it be. My second favorite sound in this room, behind more opening chairs, sits in that corner over there. I want you to hear that. Do you see what's happening over there in that corner? They are the ones that know how to make this work. You guys rock. You guys rock, and I have a gratitude for that. I do. Yeah, here we go. Prayers and gratitudes. This is the time in the service that we acknowledge your prayer requests, your gratitudes, even a celebration. It's not Celebration Sunday, but you know what we say, tools, not rules. So if you have a celebration, I say bring it on, right? We're here to celebrate you. So we will do that at this time. We will come around with a microphone, this little microphone right over here, as a matter of fact. That's all right. I'm not as tall as you, Michael, but that's all right. We'll get there. How about somebody do that? How about that? All right. Anybody have a prayer request or a gratitude? Yeah. Oh, it's so good to see you. You've been on my heart this week.
Yeah, I know I've been a little sick, but now I'm feeling better. But I have rather than for myself, I have a prayer request for my mom. There are a lot of different details which don't really need to be put out there, but she's just struggling. I can really feel it last time we talked. She's just really struggling with a lot of things, and I would like to pray for her ease and pray for her to understand the situation that she's in. Yeah.
Are you willing to share her first name?
Oh, Sharon.
Sharon.
Yeah.
Okay. So take a breath with me, won't you? Everybody in the room, take a breath. Have you ever had concern about someone? Have you ever felt that compassion and that connection? That's what we know for you right now. That is what we know for you, Carolyn. That you are guided and present to her highest and best. and you see her in that light. We allow her to rest right there. And whatever she may not know or understand in this moment, we affirm that that wisdom resides within her, and she is willing to receive it and hear it. Every voice, every thought, every time we send her love, she feels safe and comforted and knowing. And she moves forward from there with ease and with grace. And so do you.
Thank you.
Of course. Of course. Yes, Mr. Bruce. Mr. Bruce right here. I'll hand it to him. Is that easier? I'll throw it. There we go. There you go. I'll take yours. How about that?
In my other life, I am the president of a landowners association.
Ooh, congratulations.
When I took that over, there were 7 out of 24 members that were hostily not paying their dues.
Oh, hostily.
Hostily not paying
joyfully,
their
but
dues.
hostily.
Yeah, people had managed to start wars. And I'm happy to announce that 4 out of those wars, I was able to reach a peace pact with them.
Yay!
2, not so much.
Mm-hmm.
And we won both of them last week. So I'm very grateful for that.
Very good. Congratulations.
And at the same time, we had a great visit with our daughter in Charlottesville, Virginia. So that was wonderful, too.
Yes.
I'm grateful
thank
for
you.
them and for this other life that's getting better.
Yes, all the time. Getting better all the time, right? So, Bruce, I celebrate with you stepping into that position because that takes a lot of patience and understanding, doesn't it? It does. And a lot of deep breathing sometimes. Anybody ever have that in your life? Is it only Bruce? Only Bruce. And what we know is that your spiritual maturity and the work that you do in your life has brought you to the place to put it in practice. Now, Mother Teresa used to say, I wish God didn't have so much confidence in me. But I'm celebrating that with you. I am. And we know that it unfolds exactly as it needs to. And we see light around that family. We see love and connection and wholeness. And we celebrate that. Congratulations. Really. Really. Miss Carrie.
Hi. Is it on?
Is this thing on?
No, I'm so thrilled. I'm going to be part of the service today. So I've been running these classes in Soul Collage for the last year. Well, actually, I was trained a month before COVID kicked in. So I'm just so thrilled that Reverend Penny welcomed us, and I'm the first. Unity has the first in-person Soul Collage classes in town since COVID.
We're number one. We're number one. That's right.
And in January, I'm starting new classes here and at the Synergy Body Mind Center on 4th Street. So she gave me permission to announce both classes, and so I'm just thrilled about that. Thank you.
I love it. Thank you. Yes, and we're going to be blessed today. Let's have Alan take a look at those batteries. And thank you for that. And we're blessed today, and we appreciate. Look at all these beautiful folks up here that are going to share with us today. Round of applause, right? You know, it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. And I love when you say she gave me permission. I think that sounds so powerful. She gave me permission. And we are about that here. That's what we're about. We don't just say, find your expression. We mean, tell us how we can help you do it. That's what we mean by that. All right? So thank you for being here. I'm so excited to share this with you. All right, my friends. Anyone else? Yes, Steve.
I was looking at my white stone from last year, and one of the words on it was authentic. And I really appreciate Sandra keeping things going with our open mic, and she was just a hoot and had her family there. But it's like this community makes all kinds of opportunities to let people be who they are and show up in their creative ways. And I was so happy to be able to play a song with Matt that we wrote together. Anyway, so I think this is, I hope everybody else feels the same way I do about unity here. You can really be yourself.
Yeah. Round of applause for Steve and for Unity. Boy, we do have a hoot at open mic night. You guys are missing it if you don't come out. It's the first Friday of every month. I'm going to grab this side real fast, and how about you go over to that side of the room real quick, because that rug's got to be fixed. Somebody talk to the maintenance man about that. All right. Oh, wait, that's me. Okay, here we go. Miss Sandra.
Good morning, everybody. I have a prayer, gratitude, and a celebration. Our family had a loss within the last month. We had a family member lose his battle with alcoholism, and so I want to send prayers out to everybody that knew him and loved him, and his soul is at peace now. And so I want to send that prayer out to him, and then gratitudes. Being a member of this spiritual center has just been amazing, and I'm about to take a enormous step forward in my next chapter of my life today, and it is because of Unity and the support and love that I have found here that allowed me to be my weird little self and take this step. So thank you all so much.
Well, my weird little self loves your weird little self, so there you go. And we're celebrating that with you. Now, tell me the name of the friend that passed. So I just want to take a deep breath. Addiction is huge in expression, but it's not greater than God. Addiction is huge in expression, but it is not greater than the higher power that someone chooses. And we give thanks for those that go through that journey and then demonstrate through a loss that there's another way. So we send him on his journey now, and we see him at peace, and we see him healed. And we also hold in light those that he demonstrated and gave example to, that are still walking that journey and finding healing. We affirm it now. All right, who's the guy with the 10-gallon hat?
Well, not to piggyback, because that was incredible what you just said about recovery. And my prayer, I have two. One of them is for my cousin, who has just voluntarily started her path of recovery after a very long time. And wishing her the best on this journey, and but also keeping that boundary between people and recovery. So I don't think you even need to say anything, because that was fantastic what you just said before. Moving on. Tape. Moving on. My mom is gearing up for she's having some issues with her knees, being a career dancer, and she's looking into some possible options going forward. And I know she's very nervous, and just kind of holding her in some light going forward. She's got some MRIs coming up, but she's been a member of this community a long time, and she knows the power of prayer as well. So,
and we're affirming that in her. We're affirming that she is aligning right now with the highest expression of her health. We bless those knees, because they have done some good dancing on the planet, let me tell you. They've blessed a lot of people in her journey of dance. So we see that easy for her. We also see her knowing that she has the power of healing. Remind me, if you will, first name of your cousin? Rosa. So Rosa knows this journey in her heart to be one that she can, in fact, succeed at. She already knows that. So we're going to keep knowing that for her when it's difficult. And I applaud her. We applaud her in great energy and love and light. So we see that done. Thank you. We have one back here in the corner. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Hello, Emerson.
Hi. I am thankful for my friends, family, and to be here with Penny.
We rehearsed before.
I apparently should have rehearsed more. Okay.
I have one.
Thank you, Emerson.
Oh, do you want to? Okay. So this kind of piggybacks on what Steve was saying. So I was talking to a friend this week that was feeling a lot of fear about things going on in the world, and specifically fear that people were, in general, kind of losing their sense of community and losing their sense of compassion. And I said to her, well, I don't have control over everybody else and what they choose to do about that, but I'm not losing my community, and I'm not losing my compassion. I've got a beautiful community here, and I'm so grateful for you guys, and I'm choosing not to lose my compassion or my community over the next however long. I'm choosing not to do that. So I don't know if she got that or heard that, but on some level she did, I think. I hope maybe I planted a seed around that for her. So maybe some prayers for her, because she seemed to be feeling a pretty large amount of anxiety.
And her
about
first
things.
name, if you're willing. And it's okay if you don't.
I'm not sure.
Okay. So we don't need, God knows, right? And Trina, I feel like we're on a raw unity day. I like it. And you're right. You do have a community that is compassionate and loving and supportive. And again, do you see an empty chair next to you? We're open every Sunday. So what we're knowing for her is this. We are knowing that she is one. We are knowing that she is aware of that. And we are knowing that she is loved. So we wrap that around her. We infuse her life with that. And we will remember when she can't. We're going to hold that light, aren't we? We're going to be that in the world, aren't we? So thank you. Thank you. All right, anyone else? Look, I got one way in the back. We got Kaylee in the back.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Kaylee.
I am just very grateful for a bunch of little things. One, not in any particular order, but school. School is about to end on Tuesday, and I'm just grateful that I'm able to go to college and study something that's very passionate to me, and to have a break from college to spend time with friends and family, and as well as I'm just grateful for my little brother and my family, the new friends that I have, and the relationships, the beautiful relationships that are developing, and just to be alive and just to experience the day and how beautiful it is. And yeah, so thank you everyone for being here, and I'm so grateful for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kaylee. All that good stuff you're experiencing, yeah. All that good stuff you're experiencing in your life, right? It's a reflection, right? Right? So good for you. Good
Thank
for you
you
for putting it out there and making it look that way, and then being willing to receive it. Yeah, we're celebrating with you, and we're grateful for you.
Thank you.
Oh, so much. Oh, so much. Anyone else? Okay. Let's take a breath. That's a lot of good stuff. That's a lot of good stuff. We're going to affirm, now that we know God has our requests, our celebrations, our gratitudes, now that it has been spoken out into the room and held in the universe in light. Spirit already knowing the details, Spirit already, just by the very action of asking and speaking it, we have put it into motion. That's a cool deal. So affirm with me, won't you? Our unity principle number 2, human beings are innately good. We are connected to an expression of spirit. And the short version is this: we are one of and with spirit, and it is good. Yeah, I knew you'd get that if I spelled it that way, right? So I'm going to have you get the lights. We're going to prepare for meditation now. And we're going to start out, there will be a little a cappella, then I'm going to stop, or I'm going to attempt to, and then we are going to go into meditation, and then there will be a song that follows, just so you know what to expect. So get your feet on the ground and let yourself feel into this for just a moment. This is Jan Garrett and J.D. Martin, whom I love, whom Trina loves too. This is what I know.
This is what I know, that we are all connected, the universe reflected in each shining part. And everywhere I go, I recognize the faces, all of my relations in this one heart. And all I need is already looking through these eyes, nearer than my breathing, closer than hands and feet. We are dreaming together all the gifts of heaven and earth. And so I receive all I can be. And now I let it go with such appreciation, with sheer exhilaration. Now I set it free, and so it is, and so be it. When I sing it, I can see it. I welcome us in, and now we begin. We begin.
We begin. We allow ourselves in this moment to rest. We begin the quieting of our minds, the opening of our hearts, the knowing. We let the spirit that resides within us comfort, heal, protect. We recognize that spark of light within. And as that flame warms us from the inside, we feel that light radiating out, comforting and healing. We rest in the knowing that there is one power, there is one presence, there is one. And from here, we remember. We feel the life coursing through our bodies. We hear the sounds in the room. We feel the love, the gratitude, and the connection. And we come back to that light within. This is what I know. one with the mind of God. Seeing through all illusion, allowing connection and healing at depth. This is what we know. And again, we extend that out into the world, wrapping the hearts and the minds of all humankind to allow for the healing of love and light. And as that light continues to unfold and encircle our universe, we feel the momentum of good and healing and light. And we see that light coming back in and resting within. This is what we know. Spirit, omnipresent, omnipotent. And we give thanks. And we lift our minds and our hearts to gratitude. And we say thank you, Spirit. Yeah, there we go. It is my joy today to present these amazing people. Today's theme is We Are One. And what I can tell you is, even if you're not doing this or you're not doing that, what you're doing is connecting us at the heart of who we are as we show up and be the expression we're called into. So today, this creative journey through these unity principles using soul collage is the opportunity for visual and to hear how we take the teachings that we have and find our expression into the world. We are going to have these beautiful, unique expressions of how these principles show up in our lives and how they work in these lives. And the invitation is for you to consider these teachings and these principles and how they plug into yours. So I am honored and thrilled, actually, to have our Soul Collage group. You guys have been meeting here how long, Carrie? Since last January, yeah. So they're going to share some of that work with you. Open your hearts, open your minds, and see how these teachings plug into your life and how that expresses through you. So thank you. Miss Carrie, do you want the... Yeah, come on up, darling. You want the mic?
No, I can do this if you can hear me. Actually, I teach high school, so I can do it without a mic. Go to the center. The clicker, yes. Okay. Good morning. Thank you for being here, and it's a pleasure, and I'm so excited. Okay, we're going to talk about our journey with Soul Collage. The founder of Soul Collage is Sina Frost, and here's a quote by her. Even though I know you can read, I want to read it out loud. The practice of Soul Collage can help a person accept and understand themselves and find ways to balance all of their multifaceted and vital energies. Then they can bring this balanced togetherness into the larger story of the planet. So we make Soul Collage cards, and we're going to show you some examples today. But what I love about these cards is that, an image replaces 1,000 words. And also, sometimes our light is dimmed. We may make a soul collage card on a shadow part of ourselves that we don't even like. And that's okay, because it's all about accepting all of our parts. And bringing them into balance. Now, what does bringing into balance mean? Well, we may have too much of something or not enough of something. And so we create a card. One of the things I've struggled with most of my life is shame. So I made a shame card. And that card is right there. It's not in my heart anymore. And I can speak to it, and it can speak to me. And I'm going, now I can breathe with that. So a little bit about the history. Sina Frost created this in the 1990s. And she was a graduate of Yale's Trinity School of Ministry, whatever it's called. She was also a Jungian therapist and a marriage and family counselor in California. And so she combines intuition, imagination, creativity in this system that she's created. There are over 50,000 facilitators in 82 countries of this system. And it goes beyond language barriers because we use only images. It goes beyond different cultural preferences or non-preferences. So like Carl Jung, Sina Frost based soul collage on archetypes. But it's so much more than archetypes, because there's a psychological component where we look at all the inner parts, all those little voices that talk in your head, and sometimes they have arguments. Okay? Then there's the community component where we look at people, alive or dead, real or imagined, places, and things that have affected our lives. It could be a major job. It could be our grandmother that is long gone. I made a card on my ancestors. It might be animal energies in our bodies. They call those companions. Some people call them totems. And then last but not least is the archetypal cards, which is, I have a personal story in this incarnation, but it connects to a larger story in the world. And the archetypes go beyond culture, and they're universal. And those archetypes affect my life. And so it's a way of just looking at that, identifying it, and accepting it. At the essence of all the soul collage cards is we are one in the many. There is one source, but there are many, many forms. And so we're all deeply connected to each other. And I think in the group situations, and I do this on Zoom, but I also do it in person, and it's so much more, they both work, but in person there's an energy that you don't get online. I see a lot of nodding, yes. I can't express the community. We talked about community and compassion. I feel like this is one way I can share with the people in the room, the people in my community, and with 50,000 facilitators all over the world to look at bringing peace in our hearts and on the planet. And that's what it's about. So what is it like to make, Sina uses Egyptian spiritual words in this system. 2 of them stand out. Netter means a basic essence. So we try to create one essence per card so that we don't get confused. Love, hate, guilt, all that together. Just one thing. The other term she uses is Nitra from the Egyptians. And it's created the web of all sentient beings on the planet. And that's an essential part of her system. It's making us aware of the nitra, expressing it, acknowledging it, and holding it in our hearts. So what's the process like? A class is like, I'm a facilitator, so I get a theme, and I talk about 5 minutes, and we discuss it, and then we make cards. And the participants make a card on what we've talked about or something totally different, wherever they're at in the moment. But then the meat of the meeting is when we come together and we share those cards. The sharing deepens our awareness. We develop compassion. It's a very unique and special relationship that develops as we share many cards that are simple to make. Some people make them in 5 minutes, but they're very profound because they're a part of who we are, and we find out they're a part of everyone in the room. Yeah, community. Again, repeating myself. The one in the many. That's what we discover. Not just, and as we accept the good and the shadow parts of our own selves, the parts of ourselves that's hard to look at, we also learn to accept that in the room with the other people and in the people on the planet. So it's a organic extension. Let's see, what have I forgotten? Let's see. Connection and unity. Oh, interpretation. When I make my card, nobody else is allowed to tell me what it means. That's an interpretation. In tarot readings and different decks of cards, there's an expert that knows what it's about. You're the expert, and nobody has the right to tell me what it means. Now, what's the difference between interpretation and observation? Interpretation is, oh, that's beautiful. I love that. Oh, that door means you're going to walk through it. That bridge means you're going to take a journey. That's an interpretation of what an image might mean to the other person. It might mean something totally different to me. An observation is, oh, there's a lot of blues in that. Or can you tell me what that little flame in the corner of your card means? So it might be a question. Or it could be, oh yeah, there's a lot of light here. Even though there's a shadow card, there's a lot of light in here too. So it's an observation with that, putting my meaning onto someone else's card. Very important. And you'll get a chance to do that today. Okay, so so we're going to share some of our cards that we've made, and I hope you enjoy some of them. Okay, and connect them to the 5 principles of unity, because we discovered they're very synchronous. They're very similar. And so Danny, no, who's number 1? Danny.
Do I speak in this? Okay. Hi. Okay. Hi. I'm Danny, and I'm gonna share my card with you. But first, I'm gonna just kind of take you through my process and understanding of principle number 1. So first, principle number 1, there is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life. God is good. So this is kind of my process understanding, and I know that the principle kind of everybody takes on their own reflection, and so, but this is just mine. And so I basically, in my thoughts and understanding, there is a singular divine essence, a force that permeates all organic and spiritual barriers and is in existence in itself. So, this energy unifies all life forms from the molecular level to the infinite cosmos. All is interconnected through this singular presence. And I feel this divine presence embodies a single power that is active in the universe. And to me, I associate this power with concepts of empathy, creativity, nurturing, healing, a vibrant abundance of shared energy through expression, like through the expression of art and maybe speaking and just the expression of yourself and all that is connected. It is like rooted in this one power, and it branches out through our actions, through our observations. It just expands and through that, like from like the level of the sea to like the cosmos. And that's how I feel. And this presence isn't static nor concrete, but instead it's organic, ever-flowing, transformative, evolving. It is always and continuously active in our individual being and in everything around us. And the universe is basically a manifestation of this divine presence and power. And I feel that these, like, it may seem abstract when we think about these concepts, or maybe sometimes we might feel that they're unreachable. But instead, if we live by this principle, it is a core principle. It's a core thought in itself, and that it's always, in my personal life, ever acting in my daily experiences and interactions. And so basically using my understanding of this principle, I was able to align myself and with the higher power, and I was seeking guidance, support, and transformation, and I was able to create my card. And through this, like, intuitive knowledge, I was able to express and transfer my own, like, ideas and energy, and now I'm able to use that and share in this in interconnectedness, harmony, and love and goodness that exists in the world. And so now it brings me to, as you see, that's my card I created during one of the Soul Collage days. And to me, I'll share how I find the principal one. So you have basically this polar bear kind of representing, like, when you think about its environment, it's harsh, and it kind of withstands a lot of adversity and a lot of things, but it keeps going. It's kind of like the protector of like the Arctic conditions, the cold, harsh. And then you have this blue whale, and they're the largest animal on our planet, but yet it's still a gentle giant of the sea. So you have them kind of coming together, greeting each other, and they're very like the different realms. You have the land, you have the sea, you have air, you have mass, you have water. So all those molecular little things within the water and everything, and it's coming together under the backdrop of the cosmos, the exploration of the universe and everything, as the full moon is illuminating this kind of connection. And so it shows you that despite the differences, despite like the how we perceive things, we're all connected. And so if we live through that understanding that everything is shared and energy and whatnot, you kind of get a more appreciation for not only your individual self and how you relate to others, or just to life forms like nature and whatnot. And if we can kind of bring that together, I think in taking that power and that presence, sorry, my mouth got dry. You can kind of, your interactions with everything kind of becomes more in line with that understanding. You become more harmonized. You want to be protectors like the polar bear of the Arctic. You want to protect the environment first, not depleting to barrenness. And just having that understanding, and I express like my understanding and how I live in, I think it's expressed in that. And so thank you for allowing me to share my card I created with you and how it interacts.
If anyone ever needs an explanation of principle number 1, there it is. Talk to Danny, right? Round of applause, my friend.
Good morning. I'm Bonnie. There are many versions of Unity's principles, and they all say the same thing. Unity principle number 2 supports my spiritual growth. Our essence is of God, therefore we are inherently good. We call this essence the Christ Spirit. When I saw this magazine image of stars radiating out from a center point, I thought of Unity's second principle and remembered a portrait from my childhood. I just needed to find that portrait. When searching for something else, I found it in a box of my mother's photos, and this card came together. 2 quotes from Carl Sagan express this card perfectly. The cosmos is within us. We are made of star stuff. And the beauty of a living thing is not the atoms that go into it, but the way those atoms are put together. The soul collage process of selecting images that speak to me and assembling them into 5-inch by 8-inch format helps me create a visual and virtual support system, collecting energy from the universe. I feel a sense of healing from many of the cards I've made. Soul Collage helps me know the truth about myself. Thank you.
All right, so we're going to turn the lights off now so that we can see the card on the screen. Marcia, you take your signals from me if there's ever a question. That's the way it works. So put number 2 back. Who you have the clicker, right? Okay. Because we want to see the card. Thank you. How about that? Who is that little girl? That's me. That's Bonnie. Do you feel that? How cool is that? We're celebrating that. All right, Marcia, if you'll turn the lights back on, that would be great. Keep them off. Go, she's saying keep them off, okay? It's okay. I can come and do it if we need to.
Hello, everybody. I am Sandra. I am here presenting principle number 3, which is we are co-creators with God. Microphone and you want this out of your way? Yes, please. Yeah. Okay. We are co-creators with God, creating reality through our thoughts and mind. You know, that really calls to mind. I don't remember a single thing about taking algebra in high school, for the exception of a poster he had on his wall, which was, and I don't know who the original author of this was, is whether you say I can or I can't, you are right. And so this principle really lets and reminds me that how I narrate my world is how I create my world. I could sit in no time flat and create a really long laundry list of all the things that are wrong in the world and all the things that are happening that I am afraid of or that are unknown. However, I also can frame my life in all of the blessings that I have sitting in this room. And so this picture in particular, this card in particular, the process of soul collage really was helpful for me because I do a really good
Sandra,
job.
I need you to get to the microphone because
Thank
people
you.
on YouTube can't hear you, honey.
Thank you. I do a really good job of internalizing and intellectualizing everything that I've been through. And if I can file it away in my brain and put it away, I don't ever have to feel it. So this card really helped me express who I was. And in this case, we have in the jar is what represents my inner child, and a mother holding on to this child very tightly, and both of them connected. I came from a background where the people that should have protected me had their own issues going on. And so this represented, when I first made it, it represented my childhood, and that lid is really, really tight. And if we know anything about collecting things, if you put the lid on too tight, the ending is not great for what's in there. And so this process of healing for me has been, you have to let that lid off. All of the things that I carried around in terms of my wounded warrior, those arrows in my back, but when on the other shoulder, everything that I went through was a transformation to make me who I am today. And then up at the top, we have the Ruby Slippers, which is what I believe is the most spiritual movie of all time, because there is no place like home. And the flock of birds is representative of being different. About 10 to 15% of the population is a highly sensitive person. This is also seen in the animal world. In terms of birds, it's the bird that is in front and shows the rest of the birds the direction. And they have a more well-developed nervous system, and so they pick up on cues. And it took me 50 years to realize that what I was experiencing was being very highly sensitive. And so this has been a process, and Soul Collage has been a process of growth, because I don't do really well mingling. People scare me. And so when I can sit in a room and be supported by people and be able to share parts of me that I wouldn't normally otherwise do, it's been a beautiful process. So thank you so much for allowing me to share this with you today. And I'm going to hand it off to principal number 4.
Okay, principle number 4. Through prayer and meditation, we align our heart mind with God. So when I created this card, it wasn't about prayer and meditation. I think the title to this card was Joy. But what happens often is that 6 months later, I come back to the card and it has a totally different meaning for me. So they change. And so this is my meditation card right now. And there are many, many ways we meditate. We can dance. We can observe the world through binoculars or telescopes, being aware of our world, being present in the holy presence, being 100% here. I'm aligning myself with God and with all that is good. Some of us express through color or song or even words, okay? So in our prayers, we say the word, or we might dance the prayer. We might envision a prayer, a much better world. So what I like about unity, so there's 2 types of prayer. Well, maybe there's 1,000, but there's two basic ones in my brain. The beseeching prayer. Oh God, please give me this. Oh God, please save my dog from dying. And then there's the prayer of gratitude, that I already have that. And we're so good at that. We have what we need in our world. Sometimes we forget. And so prayer can be putting colors on a piece of paper, going with the flow, dancing, sitting. If you're listening to me with 100% of your brain, you're in meditation. Meditation takes 1,000 forms. And so we align ourselves when we are present and being. We're not human doers, we're human beings. And when we are authentically ourselves, 100% ourselves, we are expressing God at all times.
All right. So principle number 5 is through our thoughts, words, and actions, we live the truth we know. And so for the fifth principle, we thought that we would turn this into an interactive activity. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put back up the four principles up, and then we're going to hand it off to you, the community of Unity, for any type of comments or some observations or perhaps artwork that moved you. Once again, we're not doing readings per se, but we want to just kind of throw it out there and hear from you about this experience. So if we could hit that next slide. So yeah, we would love to hear any comments, questions, observations, or any connections that you might have made through this presentation. So, all right.
If you want to raise your hand, and we'll give a mic to you so that everyone can hear your comment or question.
I'm not sure if this is the right way to say it. I'll change the way I'm saying it if it sounds like I'm saying, this is this. What I noticed about, is it okay to say what I noticed? Okay. The first one with the bear and the
Hold
whale.
the microphone closer, please.
With the microphone, with the bear and the whale, their connection, if you look above the bear, it looks like a tree is spreading their spiritual connection out to the world. And I don't know whether, am I being bossy about this looks like this to me? Or if I'm observing? Okay. My observation is their connection is growing up and out, and it looks like that a tree is sparkling the beauty of their message out to the world.
That's
Excellent.
That's a perfect example of how sharing and observations can deepen the card maker's concept of what's on the card. And sharing it with the world is kind of gets into the interpretation thing, but that's okay. It's a skill we learn. Yeah, thank you so much. Any other?
What's interesting to me is that you were talking about those principles of like an essence and a connection. You know, the Egyptian principles that are things that we don't necessarily have like a form for. We have a feeling for them, but we don't really have a form for them. And I like that through the images, we're able to take whatever experience or feeling that you have and to put that into a form which helps to create a more balanced relationship, because then you can see it and you can feel it in a different way than it would be if it was just kind of an essence, you know? It becomes more real.
That is a teaching from Charles Fillmore, so thank you for that, when he talks about from the formless to the formed. So this is an expression and a way to do that in a tangible way. You're doing it in your life all the time. You're taking the formless and turning it into the formed. So this is a perfect example of that.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
It's a great example.
I really hope I'm not the only visual learner in the room, because this was actually fantastic. Because I've growing up in Unity, I've read the Unity principles over and over, and putting these images to I could see exactly where it worked very well for me. And also to share gratitude on this, talking about prayer and meditation being dance and creativity and things like that. That's something that being in recovery, working with sponsees, excuse me, babe. Working with sponsees, you know, I work with people that they don't have a spiritual faith. They don't have, and trying to find, well, what does prayer and meditation mean to someone who doesn't have a faith? And, you know, the way I explain it is I pray when I'm walking through my hallways at work. I pray when I'm outside in nature. That's how I'm connected to my higher power. And so it doesn't have to be this, well, you got to sit down and do this and that. And there's no, my sponsor always tells me, you can't get in trouble for praying too much, and you can't get in trouble for how you pray. So this was just really great, and that really connected me on a deep level. So I appreciate that.
Find your expression.
Thank you for sharing that. And someone in the 12-step program said, your higher power might be a rock. You know, it could be anything.
Well, I loved it when you said that your card can be interpreted different ways in different points in your life. And I think it's the same way with the unity principles. At some points in your life, it may hit you in one way, and at another point you read it, and it's totally different. So your cards speak to you throughout your life in different ways. And I think that is great, that you can keep those and look at them and find a different interpretation.
We live the truth we know when we know it, don't we? Thank you, Betsy. That's perfect.
And Betsy, you just deepened my understanding of the principles. Thank you.
One of the things I forgot to mention during this process is, and I'm only speaking for me, when I go into this process, I'm not typically kind of an artistic person. I like the ideas, but playing it out has always been something I know what I want it to look like, and I get frustrated if it doesn't look like that. However, this process, when we talk about our thinking and our knowing, this process really gets you in touch with that intuition, with that knowing, because there are just thousands, tens of thousands of images, and you just wander through, and pictures call to you. Something that you didn't even think you were going to go there, and this whole process just takes you into places that the thinking doesn't allow you to do that. So thank you for letting me share.
Yes, there's two ways to make a card. Our theme is on gratitude, so let's make a card on gratitude. Or just go to the images and see which one calls to you, because they will call to you. And you have no concept of what it means. And sometimes you get that when you share it, and sometimes you don't get that until months later.
So I highly encourage you to, if you have interpretations or things, this is going to be our last comment because I have to honor your time. And but we're going to have Cynthia comment, and then do you have a wrap-up you want to do, Carrie? Did you have a... I want to step out of the camera. Okay. All right, good. All right, Miss Cynthia,
Okay.
please feel free to chair.
Well, I
You
was
gotta
going
come
to...
this way.
Okay, you do have to hold this close. Bonnie's picture I really related to because I kind of looked like that when I was a little kid. I think I have some pictures that look similar. And when I was a little kid, I really thought a lot. And I remember laying there trying to conceive infinity. Did anyone else do that? Oh, yeah. You lay there and you're going infinity and you're trying to imagine things going further and further, and then you're like, you just can't take it anymore. And then the concept of that little girl being connected to all the stars, and I love that concept that we're all made up of stardust, and we're made up of carbon from exploded stars, and that's what we all are made of, and I love that. And it just inspired me and made me feel that innocence and awe of connection of when you're a child and you're so open.
Perfect. Yeah, stardust, right?
Thank you all for demonstrating that we're more similar than we are different. That's what we learn. Thank you for Danny, Bonnie, Sandra, for helping me and supporting me in the Soul Collage journey. And not every path is for everyone, but I hope you can try out this path and see if it resonates with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Round of applause. Just hold that for me, please. Can I have the clicker, please? Thank you. That's all right. How about that? Round of applause. So on the screen you see dates of the classes coming up. Did you like this today, this little format? What do you think? It's kind of fun to be interactive, isn't it? Yeah? Yeah, oh, I love that. Gabe's holding his heart. I love that. So we do have new classes. There's sign-ups outside. Be sure and check that out. Look at that cute little thank you. That little thank you looks like a hippie made that. And we love that. So round of applause again. Right? Thank you. Thank you. And to share your hearts. Every time we do that, we give permission, don't we? We give permission to the people around us to feel safe and to share theirs. And I'm not quite sure what we should be doing on the planet any more than that to make it safe for people to be who they are. And Carrie, your class helps to do that. Yes, dear.
When we share from the heart, we give everyone else in the room permission to do the same. It's important.
Amen. Amen. It is now time for our celebration of abundance. Thank you for being generous. We appreciate it. We had a sweet little conversation yesterday. We were doing care cards. Who participated in care cards yesterday? Raise your hand. Thank you. There was a room full of folks upstairs. Round of applause for these people, because what we do here in Unity, at Unity of Flagstaff, is everybody that's in our database and that we have an address for, we send them a care card. And we just tell them we're thinking about you and we appreciate you being part of our community. And they are handwritten cards. And those cards this year were provided by Alice Hagerman, her photography. They're beautiful. If you don't get one, I want to know, because that may mean you think you're in the database and you're not. Or it may mean that we have the wrong address, so it's a really great way for us to also update our database. So thank you again to those folks that participated in that. This is what we do. In this time of celebration of abundance, I just want you to take a little breath. We had a conversation around the card table yesterday, and what I heard was I don't want to ask people to donate. I don't want to use that word. I want to connect, and I want them to know that they're part of this community. And it was a fun little exchange, and I loved it because it opened my mind to thinking how language sounds. At this point in the service, what we do is we ask for money. That's what we do. And we also want to remind you that you are this community. You are the expression of this community. We just can't get that landlord to take your expression for payment. So the invitation is find your expression here and then support this community in making that happen for more people. So thank you for that. Because you know the funny thing about money is we all want it, but nobody wants to talk about it. Bring those baskets down here, darlings. Look at this. I have the best team ever. Where you at, Reed? Do you want to help? Come on up, honey. It's all right. Here you go. There's always room, isn't there? How about these reindeers? You love these little reindeers? Yeah. And I want you to take a peek at that tree over there. This beautiful, I know, a round of applause, all right? So this is the funny story. You know, it ought to be perfect because it's the second time we had to do it. Because last week the tree fell in the floor. But somebody had a good idea, and you know what? That tree will never fall down again. It's sitting in concrete now. Literally. And then we had this beautiful family with Juniper and Reed and Danny and Joe come in and help me do that yesterday afternoon. Thank you for that. Yeah. Thank you. All right, here we go. If you will affirm with me, we give thanks in advance for these gifts. Here's to our highest good, and so it is. Thank you. All right, go on out there and get the goods, my friends. I want to remind you, on the 22nd of December, there will be online service only. We will not be meeting in purpose because on the 21st, we are celebrating the promise of light for winter solstice here at Unity of Flagstaff, 7 p.m. We have some real cool stuff. How many people got to be here last year for that? Was it not the coolest thing? That was cool, you know? We brought in lots of members of the community to come and celebrate light, celebrating the promise of light. So this year we have another drum circle that will be outside around the fire pit. We have a sound bath here in the room. We'll have circle singers that will circle this room and invite us into finding our voices. Ryan Biter will be here to do some traditional holiday songs, and there will be homemade wassail. If you're interested in bringing your favorite holiday treat, we encourage that. That's going to be on December 21st at 7 p.m. That is a Saturday night. And then you guys stay cozy and tucked in the next morning. And our volunteers are going to take a day off, and there will be an upload message on YouTube. So do it at your own leisure. How about that? Be sure and join us. Saturday, December 14th, I want to remind you that Master Chorale will be a part of that amazing show that they put on at Flagstaff School, High School. This year it's at Flagstaff. It involves high school choirs. It's cool, isn't it, Marcia? It's like one of the coolest shows ever, right? And we just want to encourage you all to come out for that. Tickets aren't needed. They do ask for contributions as you're coming in. That is appreciated, as always. So that is next Saturday at 3 p.m. at Flagstaff High School. You'll also find information about that, of course, on our website, which is www.unityofflagstaff.org, where you can also donate. We are happy to take Zelle. It costs us nothing, costs you nothing. Everybody just gets to be happy about that. We have cut down our fees tremendously because so many of you have been willing to make that shift. And that makes a big difference in a community this size. $3,000 last year we paid in fees. We're not doing that again. So we can also, of course, receive gifts of abundance at our P.O. Box 1740 Flagstaff. We appreciate our YouTubers that participate in that also. Wave at the camera. There we go. We appreciate you being out there with us today. Bring those baskets down here, my friends. Here we go. Do I have the greatest abundance gatherers ever? I'm so cool and I just love it. Okay, I guess we need to wrap this up though, huh? So here we go. If you will, please stand as we bless these baskets and we affirm together. Thank you for these gifts. We are good stewards. We are grateful. We are abundant, and so it is. And together we affirm the light of God surrounds us. We are the light. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love. The power of God protects us. We are the power. The presence of God watches over us. We are the presence. Wherever we are, and all is well. Thank you, my friends. Create an amazing week.
You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who